The dawn broke over the village with a crimson hue, painting a picture of deceptive tranquility. As the villagers went about their morning routines, a sense of unease hung in the air, a lingering shadow from the recent horrors. It was during these early hours that the first reports of missing villagers began to stir fear anew. Whispers turned to worried conversations as more reports came in. It wasn't long before a chilling possibility was voiced. The werewolves, or at least some remnants of the cursed, still roamed the moor. Liam, who had been a pillar of strength during the past trials, now faced a new challenge. The weight of leadership and the safety of the village lay heavy on his shoulders. Haunted by his own inner demons, he vowed to protect the village, his resolve an unspoken promise to those who looked up to him. The villagers, united in their concern, organized search parties. It was during one of these searches that a startling discovery was made. A series of underground tunnels hidden beneath the thick bracken of the moor. These tunnels, their walls damp and echoing with the whispers of the past, hinted at a network that could explain the werewolves' movements. Could these be linked to the old experiments? One of the villagers pondered aloud, a flashlight illuminating the eerie darkness ahead. The implications were unsettling. The tunnels were a labyrinthine mystery, their origins and extents unknown. As the villagers delved deeper, a sense of foreboding grew. What secrets did these subterranean passages hold? Were they a key to understanding the continued presence of the werewolves, or did they harbor dangers yet unknown? Back in the village, the mood was somber. Fear had returned, a familiar shadow creeping into the hearts of the people. Liam, standing at the edge of the moor, gazed into the expanse. The moor, with its rolling hills and whispering grasses, had always been a place of mystery, but now it felt like a living entity, hiding its secrets in the shadows and the unseen depths of the underground tunnels. The moor had not yet released its grip on their lives, and as the villagers prepared to delve into the unknown, they understood that their fight against the darkness was far from over. The journey ahead would require not just courage, but a willingness to face whatever truths lay hidden beneath the moor's surface. The descent into the tunnels was like a journey into the moor's shadowy heart, each step taking us further from the light of the world above and deeper into a realm of forgotten secrets. The air was cool and damp, heavy with the scent of earth and the faint, unsettling odor of decay. Our lights cast eerie shadows on the walls, revealing passages that branched off in multiple directions. The tunnels were a labyrinth, their purpose as enigmatic as their creators. These must have been here for decades, undisturbed, Liam whispered, his voice echoing softly in the confines of the underground. As we ventured deeper, we discovered remnants of the past, old, rusted equipment, broken vials, and tattered documents. It was clear that these tunnels had been part of the experiments that led to the curse, a secret laboratory hidden from the world. Elspeth, ever the keen observer, carefully examined the papers. "Look at this," she called out, holding up a document. The paper was old, the ink faded, but the words were still legible. It hinted at collaborations far more extensive than we had imagined, names and references that suggested a network of individuals involved in the dark experiments. The revelation was a chilling insight into the scale of the curse's origins. It wasn't just the work of a few misguided souls. It was a concerted effort, shrouded in secrecy and darkness. Our exploration took a sudden turn when we encountered one of the cursed. The werewolf, unlike the others we had faced, was alone and appeared disoriented. Its eyes, caught in the beam of our flashlights, showed a glimmer of something human, a flicker of consciousness struggling against the beastly nature. The creature's ragged breathing and hesitant movements painted a picture of internal conflict. It was both a threat and a victim, caught in the throes of a transformation that was neither complete nor stable. "We can't just kill it," Elspeth said, her voice firm. "It might still be partly human. We need to understand what's happening to them. These werewolves weren't simply monsters. They were people, trapped in a form that was neither one thing nor the other. With heavy hearts, we left the creature in the tunnels, a decision that weighed on us as we made our way back to the surface. The village, once a place of simple concerns, was now the center of a mystery that spanned decades and spoke of a horror that was both deeply personal and frighteningly far-reaching. The secrets beneath the moor were just the beginning. The documents we retrieved promised to unravel more of the past, but they also posed new questions. Who were these collaborators? And what were their true intentions? As we emerged from the tunnels, the light of day seemed harsh and glaring. The world above was the same, but we had changed. Our eyes now opened to the deeper darkness that lay beneath the surface. The revelations unearthed from the tunnels cast a heavy pall over the village. The documents, now spread across a table in the village hall, were a mosaic of a tragic past, each piece hinting at a broader conspiracy that had birthed the curse. As word of the findings spread, a wave of anger and disbelief rippled through the villagers. The notion that the werewolf curse, a scourge that had brought so much suffering, was the result of human actions, possibly even involving one of their own, was a bitter pill to swallow. In the midst of this brewing storm, tensions escalated. A faction of the villagers, fueled by fear and a desire for retribution, demanded justice for the collaborators. "They brought this curse upon us! They must pay!" A villager shouted during an impromptu gathering, his voice echoing the sentiments of many. Elspeth, with a calm yet firm demeanor, advocated for a more measured approach. "We must understand the full extent of these experiments, the why and the how, to ensure this curse never befalls anyone again," she reasoned. Her words a beacon of rationality in the rising tide of emotions. Her stance, however, was met with resistance. The desire for immediate action, for someone to blame, was a powerful force. The village, once united in the face of an external threat, now found itself fraying at the edges, its bonds tested by the weight of hidden truths. Amidst the turmoil, a shocking discovery added fuel to the fire. A prominent village elder, long respected for his wisdom and guidance, was implicated in the initial experiments. The evidence, found among the documents, was undeniable. His name, alongside others, linked to the dark past of the Moor. The revelation sent shockwaves through the village. The elder, confronted with the accusations, could no longer deny his involvement. In a meeting that drew the entire village, he spoke of his past, of government ties and misguided intentions that led to the curse. "I thought we were doing something great for science, for humanity," he confessed, his voice heavy with remorse. "I didn't know the horror we were unleashing." His words, rather than quelling the anger, split the village further. Some called for his punishment, a retribution for the pain caused. Others, seeing the regret in the elder's eyes, argued for forgiveness, for understanding the context of those times. Liam, ever the mediator, stepped forward. "We stand at a crossroad," he addressed the crowd. "We can choose the path of vengeance, or we can look towards healing and safeguarding our future. Let's not be blinded by our anger." The debate raged on, the village hall a crucible of conflicting emotions and ideals. It was a reflection of the broader struggle. How to reconcile the sins of the past with the need to move forward. As the meeting disbanded, the air was thick with unresolved tensions. The village, once a tight-knit community, now found itself grappling with a complex mix of guilt, betrayal, and the daunting task of reconciliation. The path ahead was unclear, but one thing was certain. The revelations had forever changed the fabric of the village, challenging its inhabitants to find a way to mend the frayed bonds and forge a new, albeit uncertain, future. In the days following the revelation of the Elder's involvement in the curse's origins, the village was shrouded in a tense silence. The once harmonious community found itself grappling with the complexities of betrayal and the painful process of seeking truth and reconciliation. Liam, carrying the burden of leadership, convened a series of meetings in the village hall. These gatherings were not just about deciding the fate of the Elder, but also about charting a path forward for the village as a whole. At one such meeting, The elder stood before the villagers, his figure stooped, not just with age, but with the weight of his guilt. "I was blinded by ambition, by the promise of discovery," he confessed, his voice breaking. "We thought we were on the brink of something revolutionary. I never imagined it would lead to such horror." His words hung heavy in the air, and the room was thick with mixed emotions. Some villagers shook their heads in disbelief, while others wept silently, mourning the loss of trust. The discussions that followed were charged and emotional. A faction of the village demanded justice in the form of retribution, a tangible response to the pain and loss they had endured. "He must pay for what he's done," a villager said, his voice echoing the sentiment of many. However, there was another perspective, one that Elspeth championed. "We need to understand the entire truth," she argued. "Only by uncovering the full extent of what happened can we prevent such a tragedy from happening again. We need to learn, not just punish." The debates were long and often heated, but through them, a picture began to emerge. The elder's actions, though misguided, were part of a larger narrative that involved government entities and a lack of oversight. His remorse was genuine, and his knowledge was crucial in understanding the curse's origins. Liam, recognizing the need for a balanced approach, worked tirelessly to mediate the discussions. "Our focus must be on healing and protecting our future," he urged. "We must use this painful knowledge to ensure that no one else suffers as we have." Gradually, a consensus began to form. The village decided against punitive measures for the elder. Instead, they sought to use his knowledge to safeguard against future threats and to educate others about the dangers of unchecked ambition and experimentation. The process was not easy. Forgiveness and understanding did not come overnight, and the wounds of betrayal ran deep. However, a sense of resolve took root in the village, a collective understanding that looking backward in anger would only hinder their path forward. In the weeks that followed, the elder worked alongside other villagers, sharing his knowledge and participating in the establishment of measures to monitor the Moor. His actions did not erase the past, but they were a step towards atonement and healing. The village had faced its dark history, confronted the painful truths, and emerged with a renewed sense of unity and purpose. The path of reconciliation was a difficult one, marked by moments of doubt and pain, but it was a path that led to a stronger, more aware community, one that looked to the future with a cautious but hopeful eye. As the village navigated the challenging path of reconciliation, attention turned back to the Moor and the lingering threat of the werewolves. Reports of sightings and close encounters with these half-human creatures continued, a stark reminder that the legacy of the curse was not yet fully contained. Liam, with a renewed sense of purpose, organized a team to track down the remaining werewolves. The group, comprising villagers who had shown bravery in past encounters, moved with caution, aware of the moral complexity of their mission. As they ventured into the Moor, the landscape seemed to reflect their inner turmoil. The rolling hills and dense thickets, once familiar, now felt laden with uncertainty. The ground beneath their feet a tapestry of secrets and untold stories. Their search led them to a secluded part of the Moor, where the effects of the curse were most evident. The vegetation was twisted, the trees gnarled and leafless, as if nature itself recoiled from the corruption that lingered. It was here that they found the werewolves, their forms a tragic blend of human and beast. They were huddled together, their eyes betraying a glimmer of humanity, a flicker of the people they once were. It was a heart-wrenching sight. These were not monsters, but victims of a curse beyond their control. The team faced a profound moral dilemma. Should they eliminate these creatures, removing the threat once and for all? Or should they attempt to find a cure, to restore their lost humanity? The decision weighed heavily on Liam's shoulders. "We owe it to them to try," he finally said, his voice a mix of determination and hope. The village elder, drawing upon his knowledge and the natural properties of the Moor, proposed a potential cure, a blend of ancient lore and forgotten science. The process was experimental and risky, but it offered a chance at redemption, not just for the cursed, but for the village as a whole. The villagers worked together, gathering rare herbs and ingredients from the moor, concocting the remedy under the elders' guidance. The administration of the cure was a tense affair. The werewolves, trapped in their dual existence, reacted unpredictably. Some showed signs of recovery, their forms slowly reverting, their minds emerging from the fog of the curse. Tears of joy and relief were shed as these individuals, lost to the darkness, were reunited with their loved ones. However, the triumph was tempered by tragedy. For some, the curse had taken too deep a hold, and the remedy came too late. These few were lost, their final moments marked by a peaceful release from the torment they had endured. The village mourned the lost, honoring them as victims of a tragedy that had engulfed them all. At the same time, they embraced the returned, integrating them back into the community with a renewed sense of compassion and understanding. Duncan, once a voice of dissent, stepped forward in these times of healing. His actions during the crisis had shown a depth of character and a commitment to the village's well-being. Alongside Liam and Elspeth, he took on a role of leadership, helping to guide the community through its recovery. The resolution of the werewolf dilemma marked a turning point for the village. The village had not only survived, it had evolved. In the aftermath of the werewolf's cure, the village entered a period of tentative peace. The successful reversal of the curse for some of the afflicted brought a sense of cautious optimism, but the loss of those who could not be saved cast a somber shadow over the triumph. The village, once torn apart by fear and suspicion, now found itself bound together by a shared experience of sorrow and hope. The mourning for the lost was a communal affair, a series of small ceremonies that allowed the villagers to express their grief and offer support to one another. In the heart of the village, a memorial was erected. Simple, yet poignant, it bore the names of all who had been lost to the curse, a testament to the tragedy they had endured. It stood not only as a monument to the past, but as a reminder of the fragile nature of peace and the need for vigilance. The partial success of the cure had another unexpected effect. It brought a new understanding of the werewolves. Those who had returned to their human forms spoke of their experiences, their accounts painting a vivid picture of the struggle between their human consciousness and the beast within. These stories, harrowing yet insightful, helped to dissipate the lingering fear and stigma associated with the curse. Duncan, having emerged as a leader in the crisis, worked closely with Liam and Elspeth to foster this new understanding. Together, they organized community meetings, encouraging open dialogue and the sharing of experiences. This initiative helped to strengthen the bonds within the village, promoting a sense of unity and empathy. Liam, recognizing the importance of maintaining the hard-earned peace, proposed a plan to monitor the moor. He envisioned a system of regular patrols and observation posts, not only to watch for any resurgence of the curse, but also to deepen their understanding of the moor's mysteries. This initiative was met with widespread approval, the villagers eager to take a proactive role in safeguarding their community. Elspeth, with her keen interest in lore and history, began to document the village's experiences. She compiled accounts of the curse, the battle, the cure, and the aftermath, creating a comprehensive record. Her goal was to preserve the lessons learned, ensuring that future generations would remember the events and, hopefully, prevent history from repeating itself. The village, while still carrying the scars of its recent past, showed signs of healing and growth. New bonds were formed, old ones strengthened, and a collective spirit of resilience emerged. The villagers had not only faced the darkness, but had also found a way to rekindle the light. As the seasons changed, the moor itself seemed to respond to the village's transformation. The once ominous landscape began to reveal its natural beauty and wonder, a reminder that even in places touched by darkness, there is potential for renewal and growth. In the village, a sense of normalcy slowly returned. The marketplace buzzed with activity. Children's laughter echoed in the streets, and the community came together to celebrate their survival and honor their journey. The fragile peace they had achieved was cherished, a hard-won tranquility that they were determined to protect and nurture. With the village on a steady path to recovery and the wounds of the past beginning to heal, a new sense of curiosity and adventure began to emerge among the villagers. The moor, once a source of fear and darkness, now beckoned as a land of mystery and untapped history. It was in this spirit of exploration and discovery that an expedition was planned to delve deeper into the Moor, to uncover its secrets and ensure that no remnants of the curse lingered. Their journey led them to the memorial in the village, the names etched into stone, a somber reminder of the lives touched by the curse. The villagers, noticing the team's interest, began to share their stories, the oral history adding depth and color to the written accounts in Elspeth's journal. The team learned of the werewolf attacks, the discovery of the underground tunnels, the divisive impact of the Elder's confession, and the eventual healing of the community. Each story was a thread in the complex tapestry of the village's history, a narrative of resilience and the enduring human spirit. As they delved deeper into their exploration, the team uncovered more artifacts, remnants of the experiments that had unleashed the curse, old tools and equipment that spoke of a time of reckless ambition and unintended consequences. The expedition's findings were meticulously recorded, each artifact and testimony adding to their understanding of the events. However, it was the personal narratives, the human element of the saga, that captivated them the most. The resilience of the villagers, their journey from fear to healing, was a testament to the strength of community and the power of facing darkness with unity and courage. One evening, as the team sat discussing their findings, they came across a particularly unsettling entry in Elspeth's journal. It described a peculiar calm that had settled over the village, a calm that Elspeth found unnerving. She wrote of a growing sense of dread, of unexplained disappearances, and strange lights seen on the moor at night. Her words, filled with a mix of fear and foreboding, hinted that the fight against the darkness might not have been entirely concluded. The team, initially skeptical of these later entries, couldn't help but feel a growing sense of unease as they continued their exploration of the moor. As they ventured further, they began to experience unexplained phenomena. Shadows flickered at the edge of their vision, and whispers seemed to float on the wind, echoing Elspeth's descriptions. The line between the past and present blurred, the moor seemingly alive with echoes of its history. Determined to uncover the truth, the team decided to camp on the moor, despite their apprehensions. As night fell, the moor was enveloped in a dense fog, the landscape transforming into a realm of shadow and half-seen shapes. Huddled around their campfire, the team discussed the possibilities. Could the curse have left a residual impact on the moor? Were they simply seeing the remnants of past events? Or was there something more, a lingering presence that had not been entirely vanquished? The last lines of Elspeth's journal resonated with them as they gazed into the fog. The moor keeps its secrets, and its ghosts linger in the mist. We thought we understood, but some curses have no end. The team surrounded by the thick mist, the howling of the wind indistinguishable from distant howls. The echoes in the mist, whether real or imagined, served as a haunting reminder that some mysteries remain unsolved, and some legacies continue to cast their shadow long after the events have passed.